Have you ever wondered why poverty still exists in one of the world's wealthiest nations, the USA? It's a question that stirs the mind, isn't it? In this land of opportunity where dreams are said to come true, poverty persists, casting a shadow on the American dream. Today we're going to peel back the layers of this complex issue by focusing on the 3 states that stand out for their high poverty rates. As we delve into this topic, we'll explore the prevalence of poverty across the country, its implications, and the stark contrasts that exist within the borders of the United States. We'll look beyond the skyscrapers and bustling cities and venture into the corners of the country where the glitter of prosperity fades into the reality of hardship. This journey may be unsettling, but it's a necessary one if we're to understand the true state of America. So, are you ready? Let's dive into the 3 states in the USA that have the highest poverty rates. The state with the 3rd highest poverty rate in the USA is New Mexico. This southwestern state, known for its vibrant art scene and multicultural history, sadly holds a less glamorous title. With 1 in 5 residents living below the poverty line, New Mexico's struggle with poverty is a stark contrast to its rich cultural tapestry. The living conditions in New Mexico vary greatly, with the stark divide between wealth and poverty being all too apparent. On one hand, you have bustling cities like Albuquerque and Santa Fe that are teeming with business and tourism. But just a stone's throw away, you'll find rural areas where basic amenities like clean water, electricity, and healthcare are a daily struggle. This stark disparity paints a grim picture of the state's socioeconomic landscape. But what leads to such a high poverty rate in New Mexico? The reasons are multifaceted and complex, much like a jigsaw puzzle with many pieces. The state's economy, heavily reliant on oil and gas industries, is susceptible to market fluctuations. With limited job diversification, many residents find themselves trapped in a cycle of low-wage jobs and unemployment. Education also plays a significant role. New Mexico consistently ranks low in educational achievement, which in turn hampers opportunities for well-paid employment. The state's education system struggles with high dropout rates, which only exacerbates the cycle of poverty. The impact of these conditions on the residents of New Mexico is profound. Poverty affects every aspect of life, from physical health to mental well-being, from educational attainment to job prospects. Children growing up in poverty are less likely to graduate high school, let alone college, further limiting their opportunities for upward mobility. In a country as prosperous as the United States, the state of poverty in New Mexico is a clear reflection of the larger issue at hand. As we continue to delve into the states with the highest poverty rates, let's bear in mind the complex interplay of factors that contribute to these conditions and consider what steps can be taken to address them. Coming in at 2nd place is Louisiana, a state known for its vibrant culture, its lively music, and its mouth-watering cuisine. Yet beneath the colorful Mardi Gras parades and the lively jazz clubs, the reality is quite stark. Louisiana has a poverty rate that is unfortunately one of the highest in the nation. Nearly 1 in 5 Louisianans live below the poverty line. That's almost 20% of the state's population grappling with financial hardship. These are not just numbers on a page, these are real people with real struggles, trying to make ends meet every single day. The living conditions in the state reflect this grim reality. Many Louisianans live in areas with limited access to basic amenities like clean water, reliable electricity, and proper sanitation facilities. In rural areas, the situation can be even more challenging, with limited job opportunities and access to essential services. The causes behind this high poverty rate are multifaceted. They range from historical issues such as systemic racism and a lack of investment in education, to more recent challenges like natural disasters and economic downturns. Louisiana's economy is heavily dependent on industries like oil and gas, which are susceptible to market fluctuations and environmental concerns. This leaves many residents with unstable employment and precarious financial situations. The effects of this poverty are far-reaching and deeply ingrained in the state's social fabric. It affects everything from educational outcomes to health indices, from crime rates to life expectancy. It's a cycle that's hard to break, and it's one that has profound implications for the future of Louisiana. But it's not all doom and gloom. There are numerous grassroots organizations and dedicated individuals working tirelessly to combat poverty in Louisiana. Their efforts are a testament to the resilience and spirit of the people of Louisiana. The situation in Louisiana is a stark reminder of the lingering problem of poverty in the USA. It's a call to action for all of us to address these issues head-on and work towards creating a more equitable society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. And the state with the highest poverty rate in the USA is Mississippi. Mississippi, a state known for its rich history, vibrant culture, and the mighty Mississippi River, unfortunately, holds a less than favorable title. It stands as the state with the highest poverty rate in the country. Nearly 1 in 5 people in Mississippi live below the poverty line, a stark contrast to the national average of 1 in 8. The living conditions in Mississippi are a reflection of this harsh reality. The state struggles with inadequate public services, poor healthcare, and a substandard education system. Many of its residents grapple daily with the challenges of low-income jobs, lack of affordable housing, and food insecurity. But what are the reasons behind this high poverty rate? It's a complex issue, intertwining several factors. Mississippi's economy heavily relies on agriculture, an industry that is often susceptible to economic downturns and natural disasters. Additionally, the state has a low educational attainment rate, which limits opportunities for high-paying jobs. Racial disparities also play a significant role. Historical systemic racism has left a lasting impact with a disproportionate number of African Americans living in poverty. The wealth gap continues to widen, and the cycle of poverty persists, passed down from generation to generation. The impact on the citizens is profound and far-reaching. Children growing up in poverty are more likely to have poor health, struggle academically, and face employment challenges in adulthood. Adults, on the other hand, contend with a lack of access to quality healthcare, leading to higher rates of chronic illness and shorter life expectancies. Mississippi's situation is a stark reminder of the deep-seated economic disparities that exist in the richest country in the world. It's a call to action for policymakers, businesses, and communities to come together to address and rectify these issues. Mississippi's state of affairs underlines the urgent need for solutions to this problem. We must all recognize this reality and work towards creating a more equitable society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. So, what do these 3 states tell us about poverty in the USA? Well, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We've journeyed through the 3 poorest states in the nation, each presenting its own unique narrative of poverty, yet all equally alarming. Our first stop was Mississippi, where we witnessed how a lack of diverse industries and jobs, coupled with low educational attainment, has resulted in a high poverty rate. Mississippi's struggle is a stark reminder of how crucial education and job diversity are for a thriving economy. Next, we ventured to Louisiana, a state rich in culture and history, but unfortunately, also in poverty. Louisiana's high poverty rate is largely due to its heavy reliance on a single industry, oil and gas. When that industry suffers, so does the entire state. It's a prime example of how relying heavily on one industry can be a risky gamble. Finally, we explored New Mexico, where we saw the devastating effects of poverty in rural areas. Lack of access to basic services, low levels of education, and limited job opportunities paint a grim picture for these communities. It's a stark reminder that poverty is not just an urban issue. What's common among these 3 states is the glaring lack of diversified economies, low education levels, and limited job opportunities. Each state is a poignant example of how these factors can trap individuals and communities in a cycle of poverty. But it's not all the same story. Each state experiences poverty in its own unique way. Mississippi struggles with a lack of job diversity, Louisiana is overly dependent on one industry, and New Mexico grapples with rural poverty. These differences highlight the complex nature of poverty. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. In some, these states serve as a mirror reflecting the poverty issues that exist across the nation. They remind us that poverty is multifaceted and complex, requiring comprehensive and tailored solutions. These states, while unique in their own ways, share a common problem that needs immediate attention. Let's hope our journey today serves as a catalyst for change. The plight of those living in poverty is a pressing issue that needs to be addressed. As we've seen, it's not an isolated problem, but a nationwide one. Poverty is not a choice, but a circumstance often beyond one's control, and it's our collective responsibility to help lift each other up, to ensure that every fellow citizen has access to the basic necessities of life. Understanding the gravity of this issue is the first step towards change. It's important to stay informed, to know the realities on the ground, and to keep the conversation going. But knowledge alone isn't enough. We must get involved, whether through volunteering, donating, or advocating for policies that tackle poverty and improve living conditions. Let's not forget that behind these statistics are real people with real stories. Let's be the change we want to see, because every little action counts. Change starts with awareness. Together, we can make a difference.